Today's podcast is about time. It's about time and something I wrote down in a journal a while back that I ran into this past week when I really needed to run into it. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. I'll read that again. Whatever it is that you are not changing, you are choosing. Now, argumentative minds might be at work looking for where that quote could be disputed, but that's not that interesting to me. What's interesting is, where is it true? Where is it really, really true for you? For me. Whatever we are not changing, we're choosing. We're going to talk today about a story I have and the way that story has me showing up and all the evidence I have for that story and why I no longer want to choose to let it go unchallenged. And you know what? It's about time. Hello, Vedge Heads and Vedge Your Besties. Welcome back to Vedge Your Best, the plant-based podcast. My name is Michele. I'm a certified life coach, a practicing vegan, and I'm here every week to encourage you to eat more plants and set an impossible goal, whatever that is for you. And today, episode 51. We are halfway to 100. See that? Even a little bit more than halfway. That's math. You know, when I started this podcast, the idea of 100 episodes seemed impossible. And here I am, more than halfway there. For those of you who would like a bold geographic representation, that would be like if I were flying straight from Providence, Rhode Island to San Francisco, California. Halfway would be approximately Lindy, Nebraska. So, today, episode 51, and it's about time. It's about where I whine about my day last week. You know, every once in a while I find myself up against a bunch of hard deadlines that I consider not to be of my own making. And I look at my life and I think, my time is not my own. You know, I've talked about this here on the podcast before. My time is not my own. It's a big lie that I hide behind sometimes, a little too often. Instead of just owning that my time is actually always my own, I mean, whose time would it be? The cable guy's time? The contractor's time? The appliance repair person's time? My husband's time? My family's time? Was it the fault of one appointment that got changed by a colleague for very good reasons and was then followed by a cascade of unintentional time changes and complications as I tried to make everything work? Listen, you're probably already getting a sense of this. It's a habit for me to think that here I am, minding my own business, making my own decisions in a thought-out, deliberate, responsible manner with an eye towards everyone else's schedules and using Google Calendar, and then, you know, right? I had a day like that last week that really rattled me, and made me throw my hands up in the air, both metaphorically and literally. I decided that there was no way in the world I can grow this business anymore. No way I can show up for my current and future clients and do all the things that I want to do to encourage and support people who want to move towards a plant-based or vegan lifestyle. Impossible, because my time is not my own. Doorbell ringing while I'm on calls. Contractor saying he's coming at one time, then changing the time after a flurry of calls and texts, and then coming when he came at another time entirely. Husband needing me to FedEx something overnight, couple more texts. Oops, no, not FedEx, sorry, UPS. So unpack that, reprint this, now go somewhere else. Where is the packing tape? Electrician. I forgot the electrician. The electrician who said he was coming after his 3 p.m. call at another house, after his 3 p.m. service call elsewhere. And where was he? Of course, at our house at 1:45. I thought I would get your house taken care of before, Michele. That's what my lovely electrician said. What am I going to say to that? So, those occurrences, those circumstances mean what? Well, they don't mean much, but last week, I know what I made them mean last week. Made them mean I cannot build this business anymore, any bigger than it is because what? Because stuff comes up, because people and times and appointments get moved or goofed up on, and flights get canceled, and marvelous electricians think they're doing you a favor and show up early. Why? Because husbands inadvertently use the term FedEx interchangeably with other overnight carrier services when they actually mean overnighting by UPS. And accountants suddenly need information from you today, and by today they don't mean 5 p.m., they mean now. So, in many ways, my brain, my Eeyore brain, remember Eeyore? We're doomed. My Eeyore brain kind of thinks that it would be better to blame the whole thing on other people. It wasn't me. I just can't have a business. I'm just a silly, willing dupe. I can't grow. It can't be any bigger. I can't do this anymore. Very dramatic. I did all the right things. I had a neatly planned calendar with the correct amount of white space and time padding between each appointment, and this horde of insensitive time bandits hijacked my current and future business in one day. Can you sense my dramatic indignation? Yeah, I'm making fun of myself now, but not last week. Last week, I was shook and annoyed and sad and angry and defeated, all of it. All of it. But I'm sure you're seeing it. I'm sure you're seeing, because it's usually much easier to see in other people. Yeah, my time is 100% my own. Of course, I could have refused to open the doors to the contractors or to go to UPS or to change any other appointments after the first appointment got changed. I could have just been annoyed or disappointed. I could have done all of it and not made it mean that there was no way that I can take on more clients in the future, no way I can develop more programs for Vedge Your Best. There were all kinds of choices available to me throughout that day of unplanned comings and goings. All kinds of things I could make the whole process mean about me and my business and this podcast and my life. All kinds of interpretations were available, but the one I kept choosing, the one I kept thinking and repeating, was the one I thought it when I was a kid, when I was in high school, when I was in college, when our business was starting, and when I was a young mom and a mom of teenagers, when I was getting my art history degree, I've thought this thought at every other point in my life when I've been stressed and annoyed. My time is not my own. Have you got an aphorism or a saying that you always trot out when things are not going well? Well, believe me, my time is not my own is not the only one. I have a bunch, and we'll probably talk about more of them along the way, along our way to Vedge Your Best, episode 100. But I want to share this as an example of the pointless and extremely unhelpful chatter that goes through my head when I am in the thick of a story like that one, that my time is not my own. Well, when I'm thinking that, I just want to give up. I don't see how growth is possible. I can't problem solve. I can't think creatively. Instead I'm on the ropes. I'm in reactive mode. And I'm only seeing exactly what's in front of me. I'm probably not even driving that carefully. I'm not soaring 35,000 feet in the air over Lindy, Nebraska on my transcontinental flight from Providence, Rhode Island to San Francisco, California. When I'm like that, I'm stuck in a detour on some dark back road trying to find my way back to the main road with the lighted signs. Okay. Is that a lot of unnecessary detail? Well, I just want you to know that because I'm telling myself a story, that's not only inaccurate, but it's pointless. It's pointless. It's just like this story that I'm lost somewhere on a back road. Yeah, I have a lot going on. Like you, I suspect. I have a bunch of things and people to coordinate. And sometimes I definitely want to argue for those limitations. Sometimes I really want you to know how hard this is and why maybe it's actually too hard. And it's not me that's the problem, it's them. It's those people that don't take my time seriously. It's those people who don't speak clearly and accurately. People who don't give me enough notice and who are disorganized. People who expect everyone else to just accommodate them. And boy, do I have examples. So do you, right? Because when we get like this, we really, really want to argue for those limitations. That's what it is. Most of us do it. The reason we can't have nice things, the reason we can't have a job we enjoy, the reason we can't move or eat the way we want or work out more often, the reason we can't find time to paint or write or spend time in nature or learn a language. We have such good reasons why we can't, why we won't, why it's not possible, and why it's not really our fault. But personally, I think it's always the best news in the world when I find out something is my fault. When I can see that I am the one who's in the way. Because if I'm the one who made the mistake, there's a pretty good chance that I could fix it. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. I'm going to leave that hanging this week. As you go about your week and you start to maybe pay attention to some of the choices you want to make, but that feel a little out of your control. Choices that part of you thinks are not possible for you, or could be possible if only people were helpful or more compliant or better informed or more supportive. As you start to notice that, have the courage to ask yourself where maybe where maybe it could be you that has been making it impossible, or not being compliant, or you that's not informing yourself, or not supporting yourself. Because even if it sounds a little unfair to start with you, I mean, even I myself sometimes think it's unfair for me to change when everyone else is being, unhelpful. It's the simplest, it's the best thing ever. You go first. Because wherever you're not changing something that you could change, you are choosing it. Listen, I love having a coach to help me see these ideas at work in my own life, and a coach to help me diffuse those explosive ideas I have about how others should be showing up and behaving and acting. So I'm encouraging you this week, whether you're trying to limit or eliminate the consumption of animal products, whether you're a practicing vegan trying to tackle another big goal, stay aware of those thoughts you might be hiding behind. Thoughts of how other people are making things harder for you or impossible for you. Listen, it might even be kind of true or partially true. And if that's the case, all the more reason to refocus yourself on what you are choosing. Because that's where all your power lies. I haven't met anyone yet who succeeded in getting everyone else squared away and supportive before they took on their big goal. And even if you, like me, have been blaming other people for things, hiding behind those people as reasons why your dream is impossible for years or decades, it's not a problem. It's about time. Veg Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.